Isagenix, and I knew what she was doing, so we just kept in touch on Facebook, and we'd call every once in a while. And in January, she happened to notice on my Facebook that I had listed a former VP with Isagenix. In other words, I was VP for 9 years. But then I retired to be an associate, and I just said, that formerly with the VP, but now representative. And she just Facebooked me and said, well, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a former VP? What are you doing? So we actually got on the phone and talked a little bit, and I mentioned that I spent the last 9 years building the company that I've always wanted to represent. And she goes, well, tell me more. And I wanted to know where she was at, which, how she was doing in her company. She said, well, it's time for me, I think, to have a change. I'm looking for a new home. And, of course, those are the words that you want to hear. But I kept in contact with her for 15 years, and over the last 4 years, things had changed for her. And in January, things changed enough that she wanted to talk. So I shared with her how the Isagenix has the new bonuses and everything else, and I shared with her how to do that. And she goes, well, that sounds good. My people would like to make some money. I'm going to have to switch myself and my people from the company where we're at and going over to another one. So she mentioned to me that she had a group down in San Diego, and she would like to go down there and help them. And without even hesitating, I said, well, I'll go down with you. I mean, I know it costs money to get on a plane. I live in Idaho now, Boise, Idaho. But I got on a plane and met her in San Diego. We met with a group of people that she had already put together in her previous company. There were about 15 people there, and there were 7 doctors there also. And she had a lot of doctors in her group. And so we just talked to them about what made Isagenix different. We talked, and I'll tell you, this group had been in different companies. They had been in companies that had stair-step breakaway, and they'd been in companies with a matrix and a unilevel. These are different comp plans. And I just said, look, I'm not going to debate comp plans. I'll tell you that a lot of them are good. I just feel that the binary that Isagenix has is a running gazelle. We're running circles around everyone else. And others are elephants or dinosaurs. They're stable, but they were designed before supercomputers. The binary just really, really runs. And so I shared with them how they can make money with the new bonuses. I talked to them about the crystal bonus, to become a manager, 30 days, then a director in 90 days, then an executive in 180 days, 6 months, and explained to them how to do it. And they said, okay, well, let's go for it. So this lady, her name was Debbie. She signed up her brother and she signed up her friend, both with President's Packs. And this is the thing that I really want to share with you tonight. And that in itself right there meant that she had 320 BV on each side. And she also had the PIBs, which her company didn't have. The binary that she was working didn't have that. And so she earned, 100 or 80 on one side, 80 on the other. We doubled it to 160, so she earned 320 just from that. And then she went and enrolled a couple of her doctors in her team. So there were 7 members of the team that had been enrolled on Friday of last week when we did this. And what was interesting for her is that she qualified as a consultant immediately because she had one on the left, one on the right, and then the same day, so she earned $50 there. She had enough volume. She actually generated 320 volume on the left and 1,338 volume on the right. Now it's interesting, Alex and George and those who know which company we were in before, in the binary, it was a balance lake binary. You needed to have 500 on one side and 500 on the other before you generated a check. Well, even after enrolling 7 people, 4 of them with President's Packs, if she would have been, continuing that same company, she wouldn't have received a check. They didn't have PIVs. They didn't have, the consultant bonus. So enrolling 7 people, all that volume, she would not have received any check. Would have just, come in the next time when they got an auto ship. But because of what our plan is, the 320, of course, was enough for a cycle, which she had 1,338 in the other. So she received a $50 cycle. Then, of course, because she became a consultant, she earned $50 for being a consultant, so that's $100. She enrolled 2 people with President's Packs. both in the same week. So that was $80 each side, double 160 each side, so that's 320. And then one of those that she enrolled also became a consultant, so she receives the $100 consultant development bonus. So Debbie received, or will receive, because this just happened last Thursday. She'll get this in the, in her next. Actually, doesn't have an e-count card yet. She's going to get that in the mail this week. But there will be $520 loaded on it, and that's what she earned for enrolling 7 people. Again, the contrast is in the previous company. She would do all this activity and would have received 0. She wouldn't have qualified yet. So what's interesting is that on the left side, she enrolled her brother, and on the right side, she enrolled her friend Rochelle. And well, she enrolled some people also. That would be 7, and so she had 918 volume on one side, 320 on the other. So she qualified for a cycle. She became a consultant, so she received a $50 consultant bonus plus the $50 cycle. So that's 100. She signed 2 people up, but the one pack was a 9-day, and so it didn't qualify for a double PIB. But she did enroll the other side with a President's pack, so that was 80 plus 10, so $90. And the person that she enrolled became a consultant, so she received the $100 consultant development bonus, so she earned 290. And that was on Friday of last week. And then the one person that she enrolled, her name was Angel. She enrolled 2 people with President's Packs and had enough to generate a cycle. So she earned $50 plus became a consultant and received the $320 in double PIBs. So she earned $420. So if you look at that, the 3 of them, just enrolling 7 people, and ended up earning, the 3 of them earned $1,230. And in the other company that they were in, if they would have had that same activity, none of them would have received anything for that activity. That's the difference between what Isagenix does. So, one earned 420, Debbie, one earned 290, and Debbie earned 520. You add all that up, that's $1,230 for that group in just one day as they enrolled. But in contrast, would have received nothing in their former company with that much volume. This is the difference between the Isagenix compensation plan and bonus structure as compared to others. And I just thought that was remarkable. She thought it was too, because she's been in networking for 33 years, has been in Jafra and Arbonne and other companies, and she's never been able to grow that fast in 1 week. So of course they're very interested and on fire to keep going this week. So this was a good week for Debbie, of course a good week for me to help them out. And I just wanted you to understand just how remarkable this comp plan is. Give it back to you, Alex and George.
Yeah, and actually, Rick, that's exciting. And one, I just want to add a couple of things. When we talk about incomes, we need to just clarify that people should look at the disclaimers we have at isagenixearnings.com, and actually those disclaimers reinforce all these numbers, which are absolutely exciting. And now, from the perspective of being on a different role, rather than being in corporate and seeing people earning these quantities, now you are experiencing it yourself. So that must be, a great feeling to know that, hey, it can happen to me, and actually it can happen to every single one of you that's on this call. I One thing I also want to point out, that this is due to the new bonuses that we've had, and that's what's really going to propel us into tremendous growth. I am willing to bet that most of the millionaires that Isagenix has, which are over 100 now, in their first week, didn't get to that point. I know I definitely didn't get even close to it, and I was extremely happy when I cycled my first time, and I never even knew about the possibility with bonuses as we have today. We used to have very small PIB bonuses. Now we have fantastic PIB bonuses. We have the rank advancement bonuses. We have the holiday bonuses, and it's definitely something. So I really congratulate you, Rick, for sharing this with us, for being courageous and making the decision to actually become part of the field, and recognizing what the isogenics potential is and sharing it with everybody. So
Thank
now,
you.
yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I'm just saying thank you. It's always great to be on the webinars. This is a great team to be part of, and and you're right. I was in the corporate for 9 years, looking at all the ways that we could help the field, and now it's nice to be on this side and benefiting from all these benefits and all these bonuses that we put in place. So yes, we're doing it. Thanks again, Alex.
Thank you, Rick, and congratulations to you and Debbie and Rochelle and everybody in the team. And uh, I think I probably will have to just shut my microphone down so that George can actually get online. So hold on 1 second. George, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. It looks like we're having some problems with George's microphone. So just give us a minute or
What about
two.
now? Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
perfect. I can hear you, and I'm talking. Excellent.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, now I'm ready.
Excellent. Well,
Oh,
George, then let me just make you the presenter, and you will see my name, Alex
that
Koken,
was me, by
instead
the
of
way.
George, but it's going to be George doing the presentation and talking. So,
Okay, again, you didn't hear me before, but I want to congratulate Rick Despain. He was an incredible part of and the growth of Isogenics, and then actually to have help to get the basis of what Isogenics is today. And now, as an associate, I know he's going to have a tremendous impact also in the field. But anyway, thank you very much and congratulations, and thank you very much for being in the call and tell us about what happened, because it was amazing. Anyway, okay, let's see. Tell me when the screen, you can see the screen. Okay, can you see the screen?
there we go.
Okay, okay, guys. Tonight we are going to be going through this. This was not a webinar that we are going to be we had ready, but in the last 2 days in Saudi, I've been receiving a lot of calls because a lot of you went to the Eric Worre webinar, and was an amazing webinar. Now, however, many people got really a big concerns when he was saying, in order for you to get to 20 people in the first 30 to 60 days, you have to work within 8 to 16 hours per day. Now, this caused a lot of nervousness because many people say, wow, hold on a second, I work and it's 8 hours of work plus my commute is an hour or an hour and a half, plus I have to get home, or moms and grandmas that not only they work, but they have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, and they were saying there's no way that I can build a business like that. Let me tell you, rest assured that you don't have to do that. As long as you follow the different things that you have been learned through the months or years that we've been doing these webinars, you don't have to do that. And I'm going to talk today just about numbers. Some people may not like numbers, and they're going to say, "Oh, this is going to be kind of boring." But I want to make sure that you get these numbers and understand that you don't have to put 8 to 16 hours per day. Do you want to? That's your choice. But I don't remember ever. And Alex, I don't know if you have ever done 16 hours per day. We are full time. Have we done that?
Well, I think I slept once 16 hours per day.
Yes, and even the 8 hours, even when I was building hard, I don't remember if I was putting more than 5 or 6 hours during the day. When I was promoted, building really, really hard when I started in the business, and we were doing three-way calls with dozens of people, etc. I don't remember doing that. But anyway, let me show you at the numbers. But 20 is the magic number, and he's totally right on this one. Oh, before, let me give you a background. One of the reasons I feel that he's talking about the 8 to 16 hours a day is because actually in the 90s, mid 90s and before, in order to accomplish big numbers, you had to put a lot of hours. And the reason is because we don't have the favor of technology. And like this webinar, we didn't have anything like this before. And the teleconferences were really expensive. I remember I think it was in 1993, the first time that I hired a company to do teleconferencing. And I don't know, Alex, if you were in network marketing at the time, but in 1993, I had to pay at 15 cents a minute for each per participant. In other words, if I had 40 people, like we usually have on these 40 or 50 people, 40 people, I would be paying $6 a minute. And if the call was 30 minutes, it would be $180. And I remember I stopped doing it when one month I received a bill of for $1,200, and I say, okay, the heck, I cannot do this anymore. Although I was starting to make money, still that was 1/3 of my income. That's why I stopped doing it. But anyway, that was in 1993. But anyway, 20 is the magic number. 20, like he said, and by the way, these numbers are not only Eric Worre numbers, but if you have the 90-day manual that you can download in isogenicsbusiness.com, you see these numbers too. For every 20 people that you sponsor, 12 are going to do something. And when I say doing something, sponsor once in a while, etc., and some of them are, but anyway, there are 8 that are going to disappear. We don't know where. They say that there is a black hole somewhere. Then 8 of them within 90 days still would be doing something. Now, that doesn't mean that the other 4 of the 12 are going to be totally inactive. Some of them may still use the product, but they are not promoting the business. Within a year, you have only 4. And after 3 to 5 years, you have 2 solid leaders. Now, think about this. When Isogenic, we have 2 solid leaders, and they happen to be in different legs, you are maxed out. That's $700,000 a year. That, by the way, doesn't happen in any other plan. Rick was talking about some of the difference with company we came before. One of them is this. Even if you have 2 solid leaders, 2 Jimmy Smith, one on the left and one on the right, you don't make more than $1,000 a week or $52,000 a year in that other company. Here you make over $700,000 plus the bonuses. This is cool. But anyway, 20 is the magic number, and remember that 20. Now, one of the things that is real is those 20 have to be people that come with the idea of the business too. If you are sponsoring only product users, that numbers become even worse because you are not talking about the business. We are talking about people that are exposed to the whole isogenics, to the products and the business. And remember, this number 20. Now, the idea to do it really quick is because if you do it within the first 90 days, 20, you create momentum in your group, and actually those numbers improve because there is momentum. There are people coming in, and even if it's in 90 days, it's about 7 people a month. I mean, it's amazing, amazing. But let's talk about what he was talking. He mostly was referring if you wanted to do it within 30 to 60 days. Now, let me show you these other numbers. By the way, and the reason, again, the numbers are so important to understand is because if we understand numbers, our pay plan and our numbers, whoa, we can make a fortune because we can play with them. The other thing, Jimmy Smith said that when you, George, understand the numbers, this was before I joined Isogenics, he was saying, George, the business is going to explode. Your business is going to explode. As a matter of fact, interesting, when I was in high school, I had a physics, I don't know how you say it, not physical education, but physics teacher, that I remember he used to say, when you understand the numbers, you can probably get the secrets of the universe. Of course, at the point, I thought it was an exaggeration, but it's interesting that numbers can get you to many places. But, well, anyway, for every 10 people who are previewing our business or your business, to sign up, 20%. And these are people that are previewing the business. When I mean previewing, they could be through a one-on-one presentation, it could be through a meeting, it could be through a video that you send a link, a presentation on the internet, etc. We're going to talk about that. Now, for every 3 people that you invite to preview the business, 1 actually does it. In other words, 1 person is going to preview it. Now, all those numbers can improve, and we are going to talk about that later. So if you want to sponsor 20 people, you have to invite 300 people, because they remember, for every 3 you have 1 that's going to see the opportunity or look at the business, excuse me, that you're going to have 100 exposures and then 20 sign-ups. Now, let's break down this, how you can do it in 30 days or in the time that you want. Now, first, it's important that we remember that we have to follow the system. We leverage by using the system. We learn to connect. Of course, we make our list, connect, present, and follow up. And we use the presentation and using the tools because we want to leverage. And I always put, almost, not, maybe not always, but many times you have seen this graphic, and some of you probably are tired, but it's really simple. And remember, teach this to your associates and repeat the process again and again. The more you repeat the process, the faster you go. And it's like the U plus 2, then plus 2. When you repeat it, eventually you become a manager, eventually you become a director, eventually you become an executive. It's the same thing with this. You keep repeating the process over and over again. Now, 20 in 30 days, 300 invites, again, 100 exposures, 20 sign up. If you want to sponsor 20 in a month, and we are going to talk about 4 weeks because most months are 4 weeks, and prospecting 5 days a week. Now, Eric, in his call, in his webinar, he talks about 6 days a week, 8 to 16 hours a day, and only have 1 day off. I prefer to do this because I don't want to go stressed out. Now, that means 75 invites per day, per week. That's the equivalent invites. You invite 15 people per day. You will have 5 exposures per day, 5 sign-ups a week. Now, my question is, inviting 15 people per day, do you think it's going to take you 8 hours? Think about this. And in a second, I'm going to talk about that. Of course, you have to also include the follow-up and other things. But think about this. 15 invites per day. Now, how do you get the people? This webinar is not about prospecting, but we have several webinars and 2 of them are called How to Never Run Out of Prospects. And if you do it right, you're never going to run out of prospects when you use social media and many of the other ways that we teach on the webinars. But anyway, this is the action plan. The purpose of your first contact is to send your prospect to a tool. It does not have to take more than 3 minutes per contact. For example, and you have seen a lot of variations of this script. It's based similar to what Eric Worre teaches, and it has several steps. But always you say, I'm running, hi, Alex, I'm running out of the door now, but I always appreciate your friendship, so I have to tell you this. And I mean, you create curiosity. Now, how long do you think, remember, you're running out of the door. And now, one thing, remember, the purpose of your first call is to get people to a tool or a presentation. The third part is, I believe that I found a way for both of us, where we can create, I forget the word, can create an incredible income. If I send you a link to a 10-minute video that explains how to do it, will you watch it? When do you think you could for sure watch this video? So if I call you at, let's suppose the person says 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, you will have seen it for sure, right? Is that the best time for me to call you back? 7 o'clock? Okay, perfect. And then you call. I mean, you say, okay, then I call you at 7 o'clock or whatever time you said. Now, how long do you think will take this? One of my first mentors, and this was a guy that at the time was making 6 figures per month, and I'm talking in 1992, 1993. This guy, every time he was making calls, he had an hourglass in his desk, and was a 3 minutes hourglass, and he made for sure that the hourglass didn't go through the 3 minutes when he hung up. And he said in most cases he was hanging up when the hourglass was halfway, about 1.5 or 2 minutes. And that, I think that's great. I used to have a chrono watch that I used to do that when I learned that from him, and that way I didn't stay too long in the telephone. And the other thing that he used to do, is he used to go out with, has a lot of cassette tapes with him, and by the way, in our case, CDs, and he wanted to make sure that he has at least 10 with him, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't go back home until all those 10 CDs were out. I mean, interesting. And then, of course, on top of that, he made the calls. And his goal was always to make sure that he was prospecting 30 people per day. And his results were amazing. In 12 months, he was earning a six-figure income, starting from zero and no experience in network marketing. And he was using the telephone, and he was using the CDs or cassettes at the time. They didn't have at the time social media, internet, teleconferencing were so expensive. Webinar didn't. Webinar is a new word that didn't exist before. I mean, it's really powerful. In this case, I'm using as an example, making a call and sending the people to a link. But you can use the same thing in a similar way when you have a CD. We had the Michael Klaus CD is an amazing CD, and also the magazine, the Prosper magazine, that you can also do similar things. But this one is the less expensive. It doesn't cost anything. Not even the long distance call. When we started in 1992 in network marketing, the per minute call was, I think, 15 or 17 cents per minute, and then at night after, I think it was 6 o'clock, it was going down to about 7 cents a minute. In other words, today it's much less expensive. And then if we wanted people to watch a video, we had to mail a video. And the videos cost, I remember when I started, I was not using it because they were too expensive. They were $10 to $15 per video. Eventually they went down to about $3. But still, you had to ship it, and was about $3 more to ship it. I mean, it was really expensive. But again, this is an example. Now, you have seen all the different scripts, and we have all of them, and you can use any of these. But this is an example when you are sending a video person. And the reason I have this as an example is because, again, how long will it take you to do this? If you have a bunch of CDs, if I'm talking to somebody, say the same thing. Make sure you spend very little time, and you can really easily prospect a lot of people. I'm going back to the guy that was my mentor, my first mentor. He was doing a period of 2 hours maximum. He said, I never spent more than 2 hours prospecting about 30 people every day. That was his goal. I mean, he was signing up between 20 to 40 people per month, depend on the month. And by the way, I want to point out that I think the packages were $1,000, and this was in 1992. Interesting. Now, how much time do you really need? If each invite takes you 3 minutes, and remember, make sure you say that you're in a hurry. 15 in a day will take you about 45 minutes. Let's say an hour, just to round it up. Now, this is, again, if you want the 20 people in the first 30 days or 4 weeks. Now, follow-up will take you longer per call. Let's assume that you need 2 to 3 hours, more hours to follow up. Now, here, you can have, that means that you can have between 3 to 4 hours per day. But the reason the follow-up take you longer is because if I call Alex for the follow-up and he has questions, it could take me 30 minutes. But the good news is that most people is not going to take that, because some of them are going to have already a decision. Say, oh, no, I'm not interested right now, but I want to know about the products. Why can you tell me? Send another link to a products, and then in that way you keep leveraging your time. But it's why and the reason I say 2 to 3 hours is also include other things like the 3-way calls with your group, etc. Now, so if you want to sponsor 20 people in 30 days, you may need 4-hour days, 5 times a week, but no 16 hours a day. Now, it's about half, and this is your numbers are the one that I show you. But in a second, I'm going to show you how you can even improve that. But let's suppose that you want to sponsor 20 people, and that's what you have to do. Now, you must use the tools to leverage yourself, and you must be consistent. This is really important. Now, I'm going to go to the next part before I tell you how to save. And this is, what if it's 20 in 60 days? Again, it's the same, 100 exposure, but this time you're going to do it in 60 days. And I'm going to calculate it 8 weeks, now months of 4 weeks. Prospecting 5 days a week, and I round up some of the numbers. 37 invites per week, 8 per day, 2.5 exposures per day. I give you 2.5 sign-ups a week, or 10 a month. And then 2 months, that would be a 20. Now, if each invite take you in 3 minutes, and 8 in a day will take you 24 minutes, and let's say 30 minutes. And let's assume that you need 2 more hours. That means that it would take about 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 times a week. It still is amazing because, guys, when you sponsor 20, you have 2 to 3 hours a day, and you sponsor 10 people per month. I don't know, you know, when you get the free essentials with Product B, when you get a sponsor five in a month, well, here you're getting 2 Product B plus you're making a lot of money. And we are not using the money here in this presentation, but if imagine those 20 people, half of them come with a President Pack, and you do it in 1 week, just there is $1,600 extra that you're getting for those 2 months. I mean, for 1 month, and 2 months will be $3,200 if it's 20 people, that the one that you sponsor with the President Pack. This is on top of the cycles, bonuses, etc. You could be in a huge amount of money, but again, the purpose of this webinar is to show you that you don't need 16 hours or even 8 hours to build a business. Okay. You must use the tools to leverage yourself, and you must be consistent. This is really important. And I said before too, and I repeat it again, and I'm going to repeat it again. Tools help you to leverage yourself. Don't try to tell the whole story. Remember, the first call is to make sure that the person is going to you're sending the person to an invite, to a meeting or to a video or whatever. If the person starts asking many questions, you say, well, that's why I'm sending you the video, and then I call you back to see what you think. That's the only thing that you have to say, not to get caught and then give the power of the control to the other person. You don't want that. Now, here are the 90 days, 20 people in 90 days. Now, here the same 100 exposures, but you are going to sponsor those 20 people in 90 days. This will be about almost 7 per month. I would put 6.9. If you sponsor in these 3 months, and I'm calculating 12 weeks, although 90 days have 13 weeks, but I'm talking about 12 weeks here. Every third month always have 5 weeks. Now, prospecting 5 days a week, again, 25 invites per week, 5 invites per day, 2 exposure per day, you sign up 1.7 people a week. In other words, if you multiply that, it's about 7 per month. And you see, there's no way that you need here, you have to work so many hours, because again, it will take you about 15 minutes if all these 5 people take you only 3 minutes. And by the way, in reality, it will take you less, because again, those calls, the example I show you now, that I just show you, it takes you less than 3 minutes. Follow-up, again, it will take you longer. That means that you can need about 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and still you will be in great shape. In 90 days, your 90-day blitz, you could say, I sponsor 20 people, and if just a couple of them duplicate what you're doing, you're going to be in great shape. And if you're starting from 0, you could be a 1-star, 2-star, or even a 3-star golden circle at the end of this. But this is really powerful. By the way, it's funny, somebody just sent me a text. Can you talk about another example? Another example is of a script. A very simple example, and I'm not going to put it in the screen because somebody just asked me. For example, if you are talking to somebody and about dreams, say, hey, time and money were not a problem. What would you do? And then let the person answer. Now, this approach is longer, because the person's answering their dreams, and they say, doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you? And then if I can send you a link that show you how you can get the time and the money, will you watch it? And the person say, yes, okay. At what time will you watch it? I mean, in other words, that you start the script there, and that may take you about 3 minutes. Or when you're in a restaurant, and you say somebody, holy cow, the waiter is really good, or the waitress is really good, and you say, holy cow, you're really good. People like you make a lot of money in my business. What is the business? Okay, what is your best email address? And I send you a link. That's the only thing that takes you seconds. I mean, there are many scripts that we have, and the idea, but you can base it, you can adapt the one that I showed you before to anything. And we have, again, many of all those scripts in our back office. Remember, using the tools to leverage yourself. I said I was going to say it again. Now, how to leverage your time? Let's assume there is a way to speed up all this. I told you 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours a day. But there is a way to speed up and leverage your time. And actually, there are a few ways, and I'm going to show you which ways are. First, you can increase your closing and invitation, both the closing and the business invitation, by using the scripts daily. You're going to notice that the more you use the scripts, the percent goes much higher. I would say that when you use the script right, you can get the, as Eric Worre said, you can increase it to about 70%. That means that you, instead having 300 people call in order to invite 100, you may have to call only 150 to get the 100 on the call. And let me show you an example. If I call into somebody, talking to somebody, and I say, "Are you in front of your computer?" Is that person, and the person say yes, I say, "Okay, let me send you the link. When is your base email address?" And then the person say, "Okay, I'm sending you a 6-minute video." Okay, do you get it? Okay, make sure the speakers are on. And then when I hear the music, I say, "Okay, it's okay if I call you in 20 minutes." Okay, when you use that technique, 100% of the people that are in front of the computer are gonna watch the DVD. That means that those are some of the forms that you leverage your time, and you have more people looking at the DVD. When I say at the DVD, at the video. Doing three-way calls for a follow-up, that speed up also, because you're bringing your upline that has the expertise, and obviously look, your closing ratio is going to increase, and you're going to leverage your time. Use the tools, we talk about that. Use events where you can invite many people at the same time. This is really powerful, because then you just leverage the presentation. You can have 3 or 4 or 5 people at the same time in a presentation. For example, teleconferences, home presentations, business presentations, webinars. Oops, sorry. Okay, all right, shoot, I keep going back, I don't know why. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, and I mean, this is really powerful. And but anyway, guys, make sure you use the tools. And what I told you here, and you, as you see, you don't have to put so many hours. The most 4 hours. If you but the more you, the better you become. And this is 4 hours if you want to sponsor those 30 people in the first 30 days, those 20 people in the first 30 days. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think that this works. I mean, I know it does. When I look back at when I got started in the beginning, I had really no idea what I was doing. But you know, I mean, my first 18 months, I'd only enrolled like 12 people. That was it. I mean, that's like less than one a month in 18 months. And I wish I had known more. Like, I understood, really, I took to heart the numbers and understanding the numbers, because you know what? That would be a heck of a lot more money for me right now, and a whole lot more people that I would have helped. And so, you know, I don't have regrets or anything like that, but gosh, I mean, I wish that I would understand the value of this when I first got started. And so you guys are so lucky that even if you've only been in a year or a couple months, or to really take this to heart, it will change your business. You know, when I look at the kind of money that I was making in 18 months, it wasn't a lot, you know, because out of those 12, I mean, I only had like, I think 1.5 really stick with me when it came to the business. But then, you know, when you move beyond that, it's like, you know, it's just the sky's the limit. So after that 18 months, when Kathy Cooper put out that challenge to become executive, that's what I did. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go executive. And when I did, I shot up. I mean, I went from, you know, a consultant to a 2-star in 4 weeks. So you guys can do the same, and it's even more money now for you. I mean, when I made over $6,000, but now it's like, oh my gosh, that's even more money just with the bonuses and the pay structure that we have. And I mean, Rick Despeen did a great job of sharing with you how when somebody first gets started, those beginning steps, the kind of cash that goes into their pocket. I mean, that's the beautiful part about Isagenix's pay plan. So I say we just go for it. 20 is the magic number, and we just do it. Let's do it.
By the way, I did introduce Adrian right away. As you know, that was Adrian Carbonell, 2-star Golden Circle, and Superstar. Anyway, anybody has a comment? By the way,
Actually, if you
comment,
have
or
comments,
Alex, you want something to say, or Rick?
yeah,
Because I know Rick is. I think Rick's still in the line.
yeah, Rick, are you there? Yeah, he might be muted, but I'd like to say something. You know, it's we're looking at this 20 is the magic number, and we can see the power of what can be done in just in the story that Rick told us at the beginning. You know, I think the group that got started last week with just 7 enrollments, they were able to generate these numbers. Imagine what can happen when you get 20 people enrolled in your team and they start duplicating. The numbers become absolutely amazing. And I just wish I had done that at the beginning. I think my best year, I sponsored 32 people. So it's something that with these bonuses you can do tremendous advancements. And let's see. By the way, if you have any questions, please go to the GoToWebinar control panel at the top right of your screen and enter it into the questions chat box. Let's see. Yeah, Rick, we cannot hear Rick. So, okay. So, George,
Yes.
George, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no.
Okay. I thought you could hear me. Okay.
Yeah, well, sorry, we cannot hear Rick, but
Oh, no, no, Alex, I'm sorry. I had it on mute. I'm
oh,
back.
oh, fantastic. Yeah, Rick. So I guess what we're trying to see is, if you had any comments that you'd like to add on this here on what Eric Worre was suggesting.
Well, yes, I do have some comments. Is that when I first retired from Isogenics as from corporate VP to go out in the field, I went to work with my son Casey, and we brought about 20 people into his group, and we were really excited and a lot of fun. But unfortunately, most of them were product users. My son is a rock climber, and his wife is a Zumba instructor, and they had a lot of people. I mean, they're really fit. So a lot of their friends and everyone looked at them and said, "We want to be like you." Unfortunately, they didn't really take after the business, so we brought those 20 people in, and they brought a few people in, but not much. This group of 7 that we enrolled last week, all had networking minds. They had been in different companies, and they wanted to go after the money, and that was quite exciting because instead of you know kicking the tires and saying, well, what's in this product? How much vitamin C you have? Asking questions about the product. They're just asking questions about how fast they can make money and start enrolling people. And is a lot more exciting. We love helping people to lose weight and to feel better and put on lean body mass. But like Jimmy says, you can bring in one networker and they'll bring in 100, 100 and bring in lots of product users later. But you build a network. So this number of going after 20 people who have business intent and want to earn the money will bring a lot more product users. I would just say this, George, is that the way that our program works, you're going to find product users as you ask people to take a look. But I would focus this first 20, the first 10 of your crystal executive and your first 20, those first 20 should be people that are focusing on business, because that 20 and 12 will stick, and as you look at the numbers, they're the ones that will bring in lots of product users, and that volume is good, and we want to change people's lives. But you need to have that foundation of people building so that your income is there, so you can you can stick with this year after year after year and become millionaires like Alex and George. I look up to both of you very, very much. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Rick. And as Rick said, it's all right. I mean, yeah, one networker bring more networkers. And when I mean networkers, they don't have to have the experience in network marketing, but if they have a business intention, they are going to learn really quick. And as he said, and that's why it's a big advantage when you talk about both. And like we say in the past, in the other calls, and last week and 2 weeks ago, it's very important that you start with the why. Why, first of all, your why, and their why they are willing, why they are looking for, and this is in the follow-up. Because in this follow-up, when you find out their why, the reasons, and you say, okay, let's do this together, people are going to get really excited. Now, the weight loss could be exciting for many people, but then when they lose the weight, they don't have any other motivation. Um, and that's why it's so important to show the whole picture with somebody. It's interesting because most people get excited not because their health unless they have health issues, not because they're weight, unless they really want to lose weight, or not even the money. It's for the why, the reason they want to make that money, and that's why it's so important to know that too. But the numbers, it works. It's interesting because in the first 60 days, I sponsor probably about 18 people in ISOGEN, most of them in the first month, probably about 12 in the first month. And it's interesting because of those 18, 5 are responsible of most of my income. It is interesting. And it's interesting because every time you start do another launch of 30 days, then you're going to find out, you track that, and your new income, you're going to find out, and this, like this number say, probably 2 to 4 people are going to be responsible for most of the new income. And it's why it's so cool when you understand the numbers, because then you can repeat the process over and over again, once a year, twice a year, whatever time you want. But anyway, are there any questions, Alex?
Yeah, George, there's a question, and the question comes from Matt, and it's, what is your opinion on using this plan and leading with product B?
Okay, I don't know if you noticed that what is the fastest growing group in isogenics, the 35 and under. They don't care about getting age. They don't know that. I think you have to lead this with I mean, product B is okay as a product if you want to go to a specific niche market. But I would go again with the why. And second thing, the President Pack. And I'm talking not about the President Pack with product B, that has only product B. The President Pack has the biggest retention ratio than any other package. And the reason is because when people get the systems, even if they choose, doesn't matter if they choose the weight loss or the energy and performance or the longevity pack that is more toward anti-aging, they have many other products. And then what happens is that when people get all those products, many of them, the company call them sticky products. They get so excited, and then they keep ordering. They keep ordering more than 100 points every month. They always are going to find enough products to like it to be over 100 points. And it's why that's the advantage of the President Pack. When you lead with only one product, you are taking the risk that the person is not going to learn. It may learn in the back office about the other products, but they're not going to have the super motivation because they have not tried them yet. Although you can build a successful business, obviously, with product B by itself. But remember, we are not building with product B. We are building with the why. Why the person wants to get into this? What are the motivations? And not getting all is a motivation, but there are motivations way bigger than that. And in most cases, there are going to be sections. Ask the why, and then start with a why, like a famous video on the internet that you can find. Start with a why, not the what or the how. Product B is the what. Well, let me show you the product B. It's not the why. The how is how you're going to do it. But you start with the why, then you show the person what it is, and then the how. That's the order that goes. But anyway, now that doesn't mean that you cannot build. Of course, you can build with product B. We see Dave MacArthur. He has built a large business with product B, but at the same time, we have more people that are not using product B and they're making an incredible income. There are more millionaires that are not using product B as the main goal. But anyway, I hope I answered the question. Adrian,
you know, I just want to say too, like, I just met with a girl over the phone today too, and she's 40, and she called me, and I went kind of more into the product B side of things at first, and then she kind of was like, you know what, Adrian, I just want to feel good, and could you just show me how to make money? And I wasn't really expecting that right away, because she had sent me this message, I want to lose 40 pounds, but I'm getting older now, and I want to feel younger. And so when we got into it, I think the big thing here is, Matt, is that when you're working with people, don't expect to just lead them one direction. Right? So just let them lead you in the direction they want to go, instead, like how I did today, where I was like more focused on the product B. And it ended up being that, in essence, after all, what she told me is that she said, you know what, my husband's business isn't doing as good as I thought it was going to do, and I would love to have an income separate from that, just in case. I'd love to build some type of a residual even though he told me no network marketing, I really believe that, you know, we could do this in Isagenix. And I said, yeah, of course, I'll be cheering you on the whole way. So you just never know. So I don't ever go one direction, and that's the beautiful part about having a company with several different products, including the financial part of it as a product, is that you get to let them decide.
Now, the important thing is to remember the why is the important, because her why was not what it at the beginning. Suddenly she found out, well, it's actually, and the reason is because originally from she has said that no network marketing, and of course you cannot block it. But it's interesting that she has a really strong why, and and that's so important. It's why we have. They say
The why.
live with the why. And the second part, they say that God gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth, because we have to listen twice of what we say, what we talk. But anyway,
Yeah, and George, I just want to point out, Matt just added a comment here that so basically it is to lead with the solution that's best for them. So that's
yeah,
their why.
yeah. No,
Got it.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to find the why, because if you don't know the why, you don't have a solution for nothing. And the other thing is that as most people, they made the mistake that they lead and they think that their why is the why that everybody has, and we know that that's not the case.
Great.
Okay,
Well,
Alex, anything else?
yeah. No, looks like no further questions, and we're already again past our hour.
Okay, perfect. Okay, guys,
All right.
if you have any other question, you know, you can email us or something.
Message us on Facebook.
Yeah, or find us on Facebook. And I'm really excited about everything, the way that is coming up, because as Alex said at the beginning, we see momentum. And not only, many people think the momentum is because the international market, but the national market, for those of you that are following the numbers. And by the way, if you got an email for a leadership call tomorrow, the webinar, make sure you are there. You're going to see the growth that Isogen has been having in the US. It's amazing. Tomorrow is the leadership call. I think it's at 12 o'clock. I mean, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock Pacific. I'm not sure, but you can find it on the back office. But anyway, guys, and you can also watch it on a stream. You just go to events, stream events, and then live stream events, and then you just click there. But anyway, guys, I think that's it. And again, congratulations to Rick. And Rick is one of the examples of what can happen for some people. Like when he was talking about Debbie and the other people, how fast they're making money in only 3 days, because they started on Thursday. But anyway, okay, guys, I don't know if anything else, but I want to tell you, this is the business of the lifetime. I really believe. Many people sometimes think, oh, that's kind of high. Well, I bet Alexis Romano will never say that. And she just 5 years ago, even 3 years ago in Isogen, 2.5 years ago, she still was not making money. And now she's a 7-figure earner per month, and I mean per year. And there are many people like that in Isogenics. And a person like that could be you, because we had the tools, we had the products, we had the support, we had the companies, and the trends are the right trends. We are at the right time. That's amazing.
Great. Well, thank you to each and every single one of you for joining us. Thank you, George and Adrian, also for joining us. And Rick, congratulations, and thank you for sharing your story. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. And remember, we will be having this webinar recorded, and it will be at the howtogetgoing.com site tomorrow. The last 2 webinars, we had some technical difficulties, and we're still trying to get them on there, but this one will be there tomorrow. So good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.